Good morning.
Good morning.
Marvin here and Bianca.
We should be like, good morning, this is Mountain Home Road.
Yeah, sun shining. It's coming up. We're like ready.
And then I have like the din-din-din-din.
Our gate ain't working this morning for anybody on here that's worked on it before. So Bianca.
Yes.
Our subject for today is...
We're not on the subject of the day. First, we have to say, follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
Oh, we're going to say we're all... we have our information about dogs and training.
Yeah.
And it's on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube.
Yep.
And then we have podcasts on Spotify and Apple, right?
Correct.
And follow us on there. I mean, go on there and hit the subscribe button and stuff on whichever ones you can and try to keep up. Sometimes we have, like, barrel games we had the other day was super, super fun, you know, and so you can keep up with what we're doing and where we might be at, you know.
We have our Team Reach app as well that you can see all of our events, but we always post them to social media so you can stay up to date pretty easy that way too.
Yeah, and if anybody on here that you have a place, a facility where you'd like for us to do a dog clinic, you know, let us know, and we're always open to that.
Yeah, we do traveling clinics.
Yes.
You just have to have a fenced space, and then you recruit clients.
Yes, and we help you.
And
we post
we
it.
do, yeah.
And
it's a small number.
Yeah, as farthest I went so far is Mississippi. So we do travel some when we do them, so...
we have some events coming up. We have a group walk this Wednesday, 1:31 at 10 a.m. at Jakewith Park.
Yeah, we're not going to be at the river because you have to have life jackets.
Hold on the location for that. Wednesday, 1:31 at Tom Gill Park, not Jakewith.
Oh.
Tom Gill Park.
And that's right there off College.
10 a.m.
Or right in that area.
In Newburgh. And then Friday, February 9th. Friday, February 9th at 6 p.m. we have an obedience clinic, new or recurring clients, $65 for a 2-hour class. We cover pretty much what everyone wants to work on and then what we feel you need to work on. Saturday 2/10 at 11:15 we have a new class. It's board and train tune-up class. That's 2 hours, and that is only $45. So
and that's for all dogs who's trained with
any dogs that are done board and train, yeah. And then that's what we have other than our normal set your dog free
on that,
stuff.
what about the people who've done the hybrid programs and stuff?
The hybrid can go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and if you have questions about it, just contact us and we'll answer them for you.
Yeah.
So, now are we ready for a subject for today?
Yes.
So, but like I said, make sure you go to all of our different, what are they called, platforms or something?
Yes.
Hey, man, I'm getting good, huh?
You are.
And hit subscribe on them. You know, I'm trying to learn more about it, but Bianca's my teacher on that. She's not very good sometimes.
I'm good. I'm just not patient.
Yeah. Something like that. So, our subject today is going to be leash reactive.
Leash reactivity.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Reactive or reactivity?
Leash reactivity.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that
different? Yeah, if you were saying leash reactive dogs, it's the same thing, but if it's just the topic headline, it's leash reactivity.
So we're not talking about dogs then? This is what Bianca doesn't want to do, debate on this. So we're just going to move on. And so, do you want to ask me some questions about it? Or do you?
I'll ask you some questions.
I can go on
know,
for days.
you could swim out to the Atlantic Ocean. What is leash reactivity with dogs? Not babies.
Well, what is it or how does it start?
No. What?
And I don't know. I feel anytime your dog has a tight leash, trying to get to anything.
A squirrel.
A ball, a kite, a car,
people,
a person, a dog.
Dogs.
Anytime your dog's leash is tight to get to something or somebody.
What are other things that they do when they're trying to get to the person or somebody?
As in?
They don't just pull.
Well, sometimes they bark, they whine, they cry. I mean,
Dig their nails into the concrete. Yeah.
Or they bite the person holding the leash.
True. Yeah.
You know, we've had quite a few of those clients.
Yeah.
That's been bit by their own dog,
and it's not just like a little puppy that like pulls on the leash and wants to bounce over.
A lot of these dogs
here.
are 6, 8, 10 years old that's gotten this
Yeah.
way, and a lot of people's hit these dogs and don't walk them no more, or they walk them at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning,
right,
when there's no other people out. So the leash reactivity dog is like, it's just terrible. I mean, it's.
And I think some people are confused if they have a very excitable dog or a dog that really likes squirrels, and that same dog barks and lunges on the leash at the squirrels or at the dogs. I'm just to go play because I want to, and I can drag my owner.
And some of these dogs that are with the person that your dog's dragging you to, some of those dogs will fight when the dog gets there because they don't want the dog coming to their owner like that, you know. So there's so many different ways to look at it. And me, I've always said it, you know, you just need a loose leash on your dog. I mean, unless you're rollerblading or something, then it's a different story.
The leash is never really meant to be a restraint.
No.
It's supposed to be a safety.
It is, and a law. You know, the law has.
But it's like your seatbelt. You're not meant to drive down the road like
and have a wreck.
choking the whole time. It's just that when you have a bump on the brake, you have a stopper.
Yes, and I think our dogs our owners on our dogs but it's hard, you know, for people to get a loose leash. And the worse this gets, the harder it is for them to get their dogs settled back down, you know. So that's where we come in if you need help.
Right. What do you think causes the leash reactivity?
Some people are going to be cranky with this, but I think you didn't train your dog to walk on loose leash.
Well, yeah. I
mean, that's the bottom line. You take your dog out into the world where it's not prepared.
Yeah.
You know, it's like never letting a 16-year-old kid ride in a car at all.
Yeah.
And then they turn 16, you go buy them a new car and you put them in there and buckle them up and be like, go. And they crash.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens to our dogs is, you know, people don't prepare them.
Right.
Because they're like, oh, they're just having fun. They're just having fun. Me, if I'm not going to leash train on my dog or pup, and I've done it for years, you know, my cow dogs, I'll just let the pups go play.
Right.
And then I can control the play. They can't be too rough.
You know what's terrible is that I'm sure 20 years ago it may not have been as bad, but now rather than training your dog to walk on a leash and a collar, you just get a harness so that they can pull comfortably.
Unless they go backwards.
Well, yeah.
I mean, one of these days
harnesses.
One of these days we need to make a video on it. Yeah. It'd be a fun video because the people who was here with a dog a couple weeks ago or whatever for a meet and greet, they can't put a harness on their dog no more because it learned how to run backwards and pull it off and ran away, and it took them like 5 hours to catch it or something. Yeah. So, and yeah, there may be harnesses they can't pull out of. I don't know much about
I think there's some harnesses that are fit a lot better and actually put on the dog properly, and it's a little different. But most people don't have them on that way.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that the ones that I've seen, like the pit bull that got loose, I don't know that you could have put it on any differently that it wouldn't have backed out of it. But the leash reactive, I mean, you just can't have a dog walking, in my world anyway. And we've worked with a few pretty bad ones last week. One wanting to chase cars and trucks. And
anything with wheels in motion, yeah.
And then the other one, I don't know, he wanted to growl at some guy at the park. But so we do work with these dogs a lot, but those are two worst ones we've had for a long time. And neither one of them are mean, you know. They just wanted to get there. But still, for me, it's like, holy crap. I mean, I know how aggravated we were. not at the dog, but I was aggravated at myself because I thought I had way better control. And I could have had better control if I would have handled it differently. But I didn't want to go in that situation with a perfect healing dog because I don't think they would have got that bad. I give them an opportunity to make a mistake just so whoever owns them, when they take them home, if a dog tries to get out and make that mistake, they could just shut it back down.
Right.
But it's hard. You know, those two dogs was, I won't say hard for me. It was just, aggravating ain't a very good word for me because I try not to get aggravated with the dogs, and I did, and I had fun with it. But it's still overwhelming sometimes how quick they go.
Well, they were just both the dogs were different.
Yes. But they were like perfect, and then they just, boom, they lost it.
Both of the dogs have been allowed to thrive on their prey drives so much that they have like a serious on switch with their drive and no off switch. Where normally the dogs haven't been let to be so bad or so fixated on things. Like Gus with the remote control car. Gus was so fixated on the remote control car because he's been allowed to do that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So he's got so much more muscle memory on chasing.
His mommy could have called foul on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she didn't know that. We'll tell her next time.
Yeah.
But it's really hard on the dogs too, and the owners. Because, I mean, could you imagine being someone who just don't train dogs? Had Gus at that time in the city park whenever.
Well, people get drugged down into the bark dust or the concrete.
And same thing with Murphy. It's just so hard. And I don't know. Like I said, I didn't know that Gus was that way. But we're going to definitely work on that to try to see if we can get him calmed down from it. So, but back to the leash reactive. This is what it's all about. There's different scenarios you get your dogs into. It could be somebody walking down the road with a hamburger and your dog's used to eating hamburgers out of your hand and your dog wants to drag you over there. It don't even have to be the cat or the squirrel or the four-wheeler or the bike or another dog. You know, it could be anything that somebody walking down the street with a tug rope in their hand and you've got a dog that really plays tug and incorrectly, you know, would want to go get that. Another dog has one in the dog park. Your dog drags you over there to want to play with that dog and get that tug rope. So there's a lot of different ways to get yourself with a dog in a tight leash, to get yourself and your dog into trouble. It's the same thing if a dog runs up at my dog that's off leash dog. I still want my dog to be on a loose leash by my leg. And then when the dog gets there, we figure out what to do about it. But I don't want my dog dragging me to this off-leash dog because it's playing coming to him.
Right.
Do you have anything you want to add to this?
I would say something that is like mild, but people really miss and then escalates into a problem like we were talking about is on-leash socialization. Where you get a puppy and you think, I got to get this puppy to meet a bunch of dogs, and your way of it meeting dogs is not finding really well-balanced dogs for it to just hang out with or exist around. It's, I'm going on a walk, that dog looks friendly, I'm going to say, oh, is he friendly? Can he say hi? Can he say hi? Can he say hi? And then you create the association of, I'm the puppy, I'm going on a walk, I'm going to go say hi to that dog, I'm going to go say hi to that dog, I want to go say hi to that dog. And then the one day that you're like, no, we're not going to go say hi to that dog, the puppy's like, the heck we aren't.
And I think it's the same as when you're going to the dog park.
Oh, yeah, you create
We see
that.
dogs drag people to the dog parks. And when they leave the dog parks, they're okay.
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap, you know, you let them drag you all the way to the dog park. And the people couldn't change their mind. Well, the one I'm thinking of, them two big German Shepherds. He couldn't have changed his mind when he got to the dog park and went on by.
He could have.
Well, the dogs would not have went with him because he just, I don't think physically could have happened. He could have changed his mind.
And what we saw was this guy being skied up the hill with two
And he was strong.
big
He
German.
too. I mean,
His
he was-
biceps
yeah.
were so large, he was restraining them with his upper body.
Yeah.
And
his feet
I think
straight
it's
out
from
for him.
walking his dogs. That's why his arms are so big.
And we seen him coming back, and the dogs were cool. But they were not cool going to the dog park. And we stopped him one day because I worked with one of them a little bit. It was kind of fun. But it's really hard for people, like Bianca just said, to see. Don't start yawning.
Sorry.
It's really hard for people to see what starts it. And then sometimes how fast it can escalate.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it depends on what the dog's getting as to how fast the problem escalates. So, all right, Bianca, what's next on it?
What can you do about it?
Well, it depends on how early you catch it, you know. It is really hard for the puppies, you know, to get them to where they don't pull on your leash wanting to go.
So let's say you have a puppy and it's starting to, it pulls on the leash, of course, and then it's starting to bark when it sees people and dogs on a leash.
Depends upon how you correct it, you know, how old the puppy is. For me, I go back to training on the puppy, get it to place a lot. You know, if you and people don't realize it, but you can get these young pups to place, you know. There's a lot of work to get them on place and stay, you know. But
Why would you place a dog that's leash reactive?
Just to get him to where he can settle his mind down and kick himself out of gear and relax.
Yeah.
It's not all about being crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be able to control your mind. And getting the puppies to heal, as you know, is not very easy. I mean, they really want to go. They don't want to heal. They just want to travel and do things. So it depends upon what techniques you use, what age dog you have. We use the command collars, and they're pretty good for puppies, you know. But I think still, me with my cow dogs, I would either train them or I just let them out of the kennels and let them go play. But I didn't have the house dogs like most people do. Most people have these dogs in the house, so it's really a lot of
leash train them. You mean? You would either leash train them or they were off leash.
Yes, they were off leash, and I just let them go play. And most people don't do that, you know. We have Cy here. What is he, 4 months old probably now?
Yeah.
And he does pretty good on leash.
He does.
I mean, the grandsons were even playing with him the other day, not on leash, and he was trying to jump on him, and Bianca corrected him, and he got to where he done really good with him. And, I mean, that's pretty good for that pup. So I think anytime you have a pup or a dog that's pulling on a leash, you got to figure out what do I got to do to get my leash to be loose. And then it is a 6-month-old pup.
Sometimes you should go back to leash work in the house.
You should.
And
Somewhere's
take the
control.
stimulus away. And once you get better, then you add in some stimulus and don't go to a super busy place to start and just build on that.
And if you're going to let your puppies go play, which we used to hear back then.
Yeah.
And it was,
Terrible.
well, it was terrible for our mindset, but it was really good for those puppies.
No.
And it was good for the people because the majority of the people end up training with
They
us.
did, yeah.
So they ended up with cool dogs. But Bianca wanted to pull her hair
I
out.
don't like to have, and I'm probably just going to get shut down and fired for this, but I
Just
don't
cut
like
this
to
out, Brett.
have puppies that be the way you socialize your puppy. I think you should socialize your puppy with well-balanced dogs and let them play with another puppy a little bit.
Correct. I agree. I don't disagree at all.
I think it's
You still got your job.
absolutely batshit crazy bananas to get a puppy, and I'll explain why. I'm not calling people batshit crazy or bananas, but if you see a puppy and a puppy play, they're just nuts.
So it depends on how you can control it.
They're pouncing. One's pouncing on the other one, and the other one's like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" Like I remember when we did the doodle clinic, and we let
The what?
one dog that I can't remember the dog's name, and the doodle clinic, and then Indy, the cool one that was at Set Your Dog Free on Saturday, and then Ava, who's really cool now. We let Ava and Indy play, and Ava thought she was going to die. And Indy was like, no, you're not going to die. Come on, just get up. Come on, slap.
But
Come
a
on,
lot of
get up."
people traumatize
And wait,
dogs
I want to
with
finish.
that.
Getting really, really scared, and then this one getting carried away with beating that puppy up. That's not a good way to socialize this puppy, and it's not really good for this puppy either.
But you should never let that, and I mean by that, you should let the same, if you're going to let puppies play, they should have the same level of intensity.
Yeah.
But you should be able to control it.
And they shouldn't both be high intensity
They
either.
shouldn't be chewing on one another and knocking one another down. And
most owners are going to build some problems by having two puppies just play and play and play.
And people do that a lot. They go buy a puppy, and they have two puppies left for sale, and they buy both because they don't want the one left there by himself.
Yeah,
Bianca knows that.
Yeah.
And then they have hell.
Yeah.
Because they have two energetic puppies, and so. But the
who grow up to fight each other.
And then they end up being all kinds of leash problems with them, is what we're talking about, you know. Because one's loose and one's on a leash. The one's on a leash wants to be off leash and wants to go play with the other one. So, all right, Bianca. Got anything else before we bail off this subject?
Nope.
This is always a tough subject because people don't realize how bad their dog is getting on a leash until one day their dog bites them because they've had prong collars or pinch collars on them and trying to restrain them that way because that's what somebody told them to do. I think if you don't know how to use a prong collar or a pinch collar, you should go to a trainer and get some help.
Yeah.
Same thing with electric collars if you're going to use those. So, Brett, do we have anything that we need to address before we bail?
I ran a poll and asked everybody that was viewing if they're dealing with leash reactivity. One person said yes, they're currently dealing with leash reactivity, so we probably want them to reach out to us for some help.
Yeah, anybody that has leash reactive dogs, if you'd like to reach out to us, you can get a hold of us at Marvin Pierce Dog Teacher. The office is 503-730-0827.
Yep.
Yes, 27. I hadn't said it in so long, I forgot what it was. But get a hold of us. And, I mean, we've dealt with it with puppies all the way up to 10, 12-year-old dogs. So as long as the owner's willing to make some changes, normally we can fix the dog. So, all right, Brett, we're good. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good day.